the introduction to creative industries. So, what are creative industries? Creative industries are the industries based around the creative aspects that are everywhere in the world. They are extremely important to our daily lives, from the buildings we go to the books we read, to basic information, or even for inspiration and to help us relax. The apps we use on a daily basis are included as part of creative industries, as are creative industries such as those that produce our musicals, theaters, art, films, costumes, fashion, architecture. These industries are important to help us live out our day-to-day lives. As if they did not exist, we would not have a lot of character and individuality. How much revenue does creative industries make? Creative industry make quite a lot of money, contributing to 5.6% to the economy of the UK back in 2021, which is 109 billion. Whilst the pandemic was going on, the revenue creative industries had dropped, but not as much as the rest of the industries. The revenue had dropped by 6.6% between January 2020 and January 2021. Main aspects of the creative industry that were heavily affected were libraries and museums. The gross value of these specific few were 37%, as the music and visual arts sector of the industry dropped by 35%. However, in September 2022, the creative industry's income increased by 6.9%. The growth in the creative industry sector significantly higher than the rest of the economy. How important are our creative industries to our economy nationally and globally? Here's a list of the most of our sectors in the industry: advertising and marketing, architecture, crafts, costume and design, fashion, film, TV, radio, and photography, IT, software and computer services, publishing, museums, galleries and libraries, music, performing, visual arts. These industries are most of the jobs in July 2020 to June 2021. 2.3 million of the population jobs in the creative industries and self-employment for 32% of the job in creative industries. 93% of 16 to 18-year-olds say it helped them with their mental health when they study creative subjects, as there is less pressure in the mind. If someone is a creative graduate, they can earn up to $2,300 as an average payment per year. When working in the creative industry, as non-graduates can earn up to $1,300 as an average, compared to when working in a new creative industry. Now, let's talk about costume design as the topic for the creative industries today. What is the origin of costume design? Well, since the 1500s, there started to be a use of a key word praised highly within the Elizabethan theatres, where actors were known for their latest garments from the best designers they could commission. Along with the accessories they use. They would even sometimes not even create something new, yet just adjust historical garments to produce a vintage antique effect on the plays produced. It became more of a prominent industry during the 1900s due to more costume designers becoming prominent and noticed as an important role within theater culture, and slowly built in popularity from then, with more and more visibility for designers. How does costume design negatively affect the environment, though? If it does. The costume design community are known for being inherently wasteful in things such as TV, film, and theater. It uses up more than the average household in clothing as a household would use in a lifetime, just for the production to then throw it away when no longer a needed piece or costumes, causing mass amount of waste. Okay, but how is costume design trying to fix this? Many interpreted groups of costume designers are changing the way they dress and work in order to become more sustainable and better for everyone. Examples of their methods are committing to rebuying pre-used clothing and adding what's needed rather than looking straight to the high streets for fabric, or donating the recycling faculties to reuse the old materials, and also requesting old materials to use for new costumes to keep the cycle moving, checking fashion labels to make sure they are sustainable, and finally using filters to make sure synthetic fabrics don't get into the drain and into the water stream when washing. A few examples of these companies that are people and companies that are working on this is Sinad Hidol, a costume designer assistant, and companies such as Albert CAMA, Assetsor, and VCU. What are the ethics within costume design? Well, first off, what's copyright? Copyright is the ability and right to deny or accept certain works for a limited amount of time. This is recognized in national law, including treaties and all media, including the internet. This has been around since 1709 and has been used to protect people's creations and companies. When it comes to costume design, it can be hard to completely copyright your work, as usually it's the characters such as Disney's characters that are within copyright. There are ways that some company get around this, such as giving them a new name, i.e. Joker from Halloween, from DC, Halloween costumes being called Green Villain instead of the original name, since the character is owned by DC. So using Joker's character and keeping everything accurate would be a trademark infringement, which is one of the main reasons that costume designers can tend to have a hard time. Most definitely when it comes to cosplay designs, as if they are too close to the character and earns any monetary value, it could end up with it being a case of infringement. As I had already mentioned, Disney is known to be quite aggressive with policing the uses of characters of theirs in an unlicensed way over the years. They keep their characters quite close in copyright, as they are hard to use for costume designs without a license to use the said character in a monetized setting, i.e. Elsa from Frozen is one that is copyrighted. One of the major struggles that the costume design has faced also is social responsibility. This includes things such as cultural appropriation. African and Japanese cultures have faced most of these repercussions in the past. However, there are many efforts to try and limit this. This is able to be done through how people approach cultures and how they may understand the difference between inspiration and appropriation. One way to achieve this is through a culturally sensitive curriculum in education. A culturally sensitive curriculum, mouthful, would help ensure that the designers have a good understanding of culture and how it plays into costume design. Additionally, culture-sensitive education cannot only help improve our culture, but promote a larger appreciation to the culture as a whole. Allowing this means that costume design as an industry can become more collaborative, inclusive, accepting, and it allows for a deeper understanding. There have been many struggles with culture design and social responsibility in the past. One major example could be the Na'vi people. In Avatar 2009, they adorn war paint on their face, which is a sacred practice for Native American people. For example, the Na'vis are often shown wearing war paint, which is a sacred practice for most Native American tribes. However, the use of war paints for decorative purposes, which is not the traditional use of war paint. Additionally, the Na'vi are often shown living in harmony with nature, which is a stereotype that has been used to justify the colonization of Native American lands. Another example of when costume design was appropriate for Native Americans was a film which included Johnny Depp, The Lone Ranger, in 2012. In this, he is depicted wearing war paint and a headdress. This is seen as stereotypical and inaccurate. For instance, in the 2012 film The Solitary Officer, Johnny Depp assumed the part of Tonto, a local American ally to the title character. Johnny Depp's depiction of Tonto was deemed by numerous local American gatherings who contended that it was a bigot and off-base generalization. There are many times within costume design that culture appropriation may happen unintentionally, allowing for higher levels of culturally sensitive education is just one of the major ways to prevent this. However, when it does occur, it is the responsibility of those involved to take accountability for their actions. Cultural appropriation can lead to cultural generalization, stereotyping, disregarding social and cultural heritage. Now, what about the trends within costume design? Why is trends blowing up currently within industries of film and theater? It's because as we move from 2022, more and more shows are being made with designs for all well-known characters such as Wednesday Addams in Wednesday and more. This blow up caused costume designers to realize how much they had impacted shows both in film and theater. As they got more attention from people, in the future there is the scare of AI, but is not as concerning to those within theater. It is, however, concerning to those in film for costume design, as AI could easily make an outfit look convincing by motion detection of a person. But there is still hope that people will hire costume designers, however, as their designs are more detailed and accurate than AI could ever do. Next, let's talk about some people that have inspired our industry and thus going to carry on showing love to our industry. First is Adrian Adolph Greenberg, our idol. He was a well-known costume designer for The Wizard of Oz and hundreds of other beautiful movies between 1928 and 1941. Then there's also Sandy Powell, our mover, known for her work in Shakespeare in Love, 1998, Gang of New York in 2002, and The Young Victoria in 2009. Another is our shaker, Emma Lamp. Emma is known for her costume design and styling on high-end commercials for brands including Coca-Cola, Samsung, Disney, and Bacardi. How about we change the subject to career trajectories? The average salary for a costume designer at the start of their career as a starter is $22,000 a year. If they are in the career long enough, it could get to $34,000 a year. Now, you could get into costume design via university or college and or becoming an apprentice for someone. And when it comes to work, it's best to start within a company that provides costume for stage and screen. And when you're starting out, you could always be an assistant for a costume designer to get yourself on the ladder to become one. Would you like to be the photographer for a cosplayer or a cosplayer for a photographer? Apply now. Call on 000 and we will find someone in your area to fill your want and desires for such a fun job. Apply now. Now, let's wrap this all up, shall we? As all the information comes to an end, I hope you all learned a lot, from copyright to income to sustainability, learning how it's been around since the 1500s, yet only really showed maximum stance during the 1900s. The creative industry of costume design taking quite a harsh stance and not budging even slightly when it comes to the AI scare for everyone, as it's all handcrafted to perfection. There is also the fact they are trying to be more sustainable. They are trying to do more. Thank you all, and good day.